Hello class, welcome to week 2. I thought I'd give you an overview of the class this week and some of the assignments to help you get a sense of where we're going to go this week. When you go into each week, you'll see that we have objectives and learning outcomes. I want to encourage you to pay attention to those and not just skip over them, because that will give you a sense of where we're going to be going this week, the things that are important for you to pay attention to. So this week you can see that we're going to be every week we're going to be focusing on stages within the lifespan. This week in particular is infancy, early childhood, and middle childhood. So in thinking of that, you're going to be learning about the characteristics of each stage, developmental crises, as well as normal development and risks to normal development or expected development. And we'll also be discussing different theories, and we will be theory heavy in the first few weeks. That's not to say theory isn't important as we go along, but there are more theories that have to do with early years of development rather than later years of development. There are some exceptions, and we'll actually be looking at some of those even this week. But when you learn about theories, it's important to focus on concepts, individuals, and strengths and weaknesses so that you can understand and discuss them knowledgeably. And the individuals, pay attention to the individuals' names too. That's important because you'll hear their names as you go throughout your program. You'll see that there'll be some discussion of genetics, environment, nature, and nurture here, and how they work together. It used to be thought, it's either mostly nature or mostly nurture. And now through years and decades of research, we understand that that both are involved to different degrees in different aspects of life and development. And that will be, I think that's one of the exciting aspects of our field, and so hopefully you will enjoy that discussion as well. We see here that there's also some discussion about cultural differences, cultural perspectives, multicultural issues, differences in culture, and approaches to dealing with the differences. It's important to understand that we only have our own experience to deal with personally or to understand others from personally. And so we need to have some tools in our professional toolbox to help us understand people from different cultures. And while there's a lot of discussion about diversity in society in general, I think as professionals it's important for us to understand diversity at a deeper level, that diversity is more than skin color or ethnicity. There are different cultures. The deaf community has a different kind of culture. People who look similar on the outside may experience very different cultures as well. For example, a Finn and a German and a somebody from France are going to have very different cultures, even if they may look similar externally. People from China, Japan, and Korea, similar kinds of experiences, different cultural elements. And so it's important to understand culture in some ways in a more micro level, I suppose. And so that we start talking about that even in the early childhood time. So readings and resources, you'll see 3 sections that you'll be reading this week, and I believe that's 7 chapters. So there's a lot of reading, but it's meaty reading, and so I hope that you won't just skim through it, but that you will try to soak in as much as possible. Then we'll go to our discussion board. As you can see, we have that this week. And I want to just make sure that you all are aware of how to get to the rubric. You go to the grading information here, and you can go to this little icon here, View Rubric, and that will give you a pop-up of the rubric. Please make sure that you pay attention to the rubric for the discussion boards as you're posting. I want to highlight some questions that some of you might have when you see your grades is, I posted 3 times, why am I not getting full points? That's a common question. We'll get to that in a minute. Well, I guess I could just jump to that right now. That would be under responsiveness, or part of that is under responsiveness. So if you do 3 posts on one day, then you're not going to get full points. You might get 17, maybe 18. The feature with the 18 points, which is proficient, is that you're logging onto the Blackboard on 2 separate occasions during the week, and you're posting and responses to 2 other discussion posts. And you make your initial post by Wednesday, and responses to peer posts are made by Sunday. If you want to get up in this level, you need to present the full package of quality expectations. You make your initial post by Wednesday, your responses to peer posts are made by Sunday, you log in at least 3 different occasions during the week, you post your own comment and respond to 3 other posted discussions. Some students are very ambitious and will give 4, 5, 6 posts. Those folks will get a 20. If you do 3, I'll probably just give you 19, because there's got to be somewhere to acknowledge the above and beyond participation of those folks. Other elements of the discussion board rubric: providing comments, new information in a regular, equitable manner. You want to interact with a variety of participants. So this is participation in discussion. While there's not necessarily a count here, a number, specific number given to you here, this is one of those sections where the more posts and the more quality posts you provide, the higher your score in this section will be. Content of posting: you want to be thoughtful, you want to be substantive. 1 to 2 sentences is not going to demonstrate that you are making a significant contribution to the class or the discussion. It also doesn't demonstrate that you understand the topic. You may have a lengthy initial post, but you also need to engage in more than 1 or 2 sentences with your peers to be able to earn points up in the 18 to 20 range. As you can see here, especially in the 19 to 20, you need to reveal a solid understanding of the topic by evidenced by thoughtful responses and questions. This is a class discussion, and discussion means going back and forth. So when you ask people questions and ask for clarifications, or ask, well, did you think about maybe taking your research in this direction, that helps promote that discussion. Critical thinking evidenced by posting. This, again, requires more than 1 or 2 sentences in your responses, more than bare minimum initial posts. You need to give some detail of your thinking. Also, it's helpful if you don't just give opinion. You need to offer facts, and by doing that, the more that you can bring in text readings and resources, not to quote them, but to support your positions, the more you will score in the upper areas of critical thinking. You'll also want to think about, how do you introduce a different interpretation of an existing idea, or provide some critical analysis of what has been posted or in your initial post as well. And then writing style. This is graduate level work, and so you want to definitely run it through the spell check and grammar check. Read it twice, 3 times, have somebody else read it. Even discussion posts, it's important when you are presenting your thoughts and your perspective, you need to be able to talk clearly and concisely and logically so that people can follow your argument. Some students lose points because I'm not exactly sure what you're trying to say. So those are just a few, those are the points on the discussion board rubric. Let's go back to week 2. Finally, the FLE resource assessment. This is the assignment that I went through in the my other video about how to use a rubric. So I won't go into too much detail other than to point out the definition of a program. Please be sure that you are making a distinction between a program and an organization. A program is going to be a short, targeted, maybe 1 hour, 2 hour sessions, or it could be maybe a 6-week session of 6 weeks worth of sessions. I don't want you to be talking about a whole encompassing, comprehensive organization in referring to this or in discussing a program. Some students in my previous classes got confused, and so that makes the rest of this assignment kind of wacky. So make sure that you understand a program is as it says, create a 2-hour family life education program. So think about programs as being short, contained workshops, seminars, things like that, not an entire organization. And the rest of that I think should be pretty clear based on the video that I posted last week. I look forward to seeing your work and hope this is helpful.